Okay. Hello, everybody. We are back in the basement simulator, and we're in the 3D sim today. Not doing the VR thing today. Hopefully, the quality of the stream is good. I am hoping that once again we can actually get through a full stream without the UBS video driver crashing. But this is our Mooney point-to-point series that we are continuing today. We are going to continue from Boise up across the Baker City VOR into LaGrande Union County Airport, which will be in Washington State. So that's the plan. That's what we've got going on. Those who are watching, if you could give me a audio check, that would be great. And I'm going to go ahead and start things up. It has been quite a morning, me trying to get the sim ready to do what it's supposed to do here. It was not necessarily easy, but seems to be working now. I had all kinds of problems. Hi, Roberto. Thank you for the audio. I'm glad that you enjoyed the home cockpit. We're going to see if we can actually make an entire flight in it without a crash today. We will find out. Alternator, battery, boost pump, mixture rich, prop full. A little bit, step on the brakes. There we go. I wish I could find the proper noise cancellation switch for this, but I can't seem to find the variable for it, so we're not running with noise cancellation. Hopefully that'll be okay. Parking brake is set. Avionics. Yeah, I can hear that all right. Presume you guys can too. Yeah, that sounds okay. I had a really interesting morning trying to track down a problem in the sim that involves SPAD next. I'll tell the story when we get airborne, but it was a hassle. Beacon. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm so used to being in the VR here. Let's see what we got. Boise. So Class Charlie will need to call for clearance, but first we'll get the weather. That is 123.9 error.
Boise Air Terminal, Gowan Field, information Oscar. 1600 Zulu weather. Wind 290 at 9, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 14, dew point 7. Altimeter 3000. Arriving runway 28 left, departing runway 28 right. Advise on initial contact you have Oscar.
Okay. Well, that's why I wanted to try to run another flight in the physical cockpit, because I know folks have wanted it, and I'm happy to make it happen. Let's just put in a little flight plan real quick. We're going to go to BKE. And then we're going to go to just a short hop up to KLGD. We're going to fly with VOR navigation anyway. In fact, I think maybe we'll just delete the flight plan altogether and just go back to what we had. Although I do like this view. So BKE is 115.3. And we're going to fly on a 297 radial 2. Is that right? Yep. $290, $295. Right there, centered needle, just as it should be. Okay, so that's good. And hello, Lukanen. I am trying to get your name right. Apologize if I did not. All right, so we've got our VOR tuned. Let's get ready to go to clearance. Tell them we want a northwest departure and that we have Oscar. Sky clearance delivery 125.9. I believe we're connected to PilotEdge. I think I did that. Nope. Gotta connect to PilotEdge.
Connected to PilotEdge.
There we go, that'll help. Big Sky clearance.
North 515, for the RNAV approach, were you looking for the full approach from the from Hoba? Yes, I can do that to you, yeah. If you want it that far, that's still inside the center airspace. So clear direct Hoba, cross Hoba at flight level 190, cleared RNAV Zulu runway 16 right approach.
Looks like PilotEdge conflicts with this. It was working great before.
You can make that Hoba at or above 11,000.
Curious, let's just disconnect from PilotEdge here and see what happens.
Disconnected.
Now it's working great.
Connected to
And horizon 1022,
And now it's conflicting. That's interesting. What if they're trying to share the same port?
Horizon 1022, direct Hoba, cross Hoba at or above 11,000.
Seems to be figured out now.
Runway 16 right approach.
Now it's working. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Alright, well, let's call them and tell them we're ready to go. If they ask us if we want advisories, we can tell them we're going to KLGD, Lima Golf Delta. LaGrande, we're going to fly up at 8,500 feet. M20P. Number 15 Julie Golf. Jimmy, that is remote flight cockpit, and it works really well. It had some conflict there for a second. It looked like when PilotEdge fired up. See, now it just kicked out. And I don't know if it's the port. I need to set a new port for it. It's not hard to do that. Now it seems to be working. I haven't seen if it's related.
Tower, Baron,
now there's a, yeah, see there's a PilotEdge transmission, and it seems to crap out during the PilotEdge transmission.
Hotel Bravo, Center Date Runway 30 left clear for takeoff.
I'm not sure why I would do that. Yeah, I would imagine too. Let's change the port.
30 left, number 48, Hotel Bravo.
We can generate a new port easily enough. Sorry to break the illusion here for a second, guys, but it's been an interesting morning of tests and retests. Let's randomize it. 6565. Let's enter that port. Oh, it's working. Yeah, so it works great. It comes with a variety of different dials and gauges you can use, and I've been quite satisfied with it. That seems to have solved the problem. We're not having the port conflict anymore. But man, I had a hassle. It took me 3 hours to get this thing up and running today without being in VR. And I was a frustrated puppy when it was all said and done. Eventually got it figured out, but it was not working the way I wanted it to. Yeah, it seems to be still having intermittent challenges. It's definitely something when I'm clicked in here to... It's been one of those days in terms of port issues. I also wonder if maybe it's how I have it assigned. Maybe I need to give it more access to more threads. I don't know why that would make a difference. It seems to be fine now. I'll leave it to the network experts to help me with that one. So yeah, sorry Jimmy, it is Remote Flight Cockpit HD. That is the name of the software. Let's just see what I have this thing assigned to, because I learned something today. Well, we're running 2 instances of it. That could be part of the problem. Yeah, still giving me a blinking light. Let's just check here. The interesting thing I learned today had to do with SPAD Next, and had to do with...
515,
It had to do with SPAD Next behavior that was really pretty bizarre. I finally got it straightened out, but it was really interesting. And what I think I learned is that SPAD Next needs access to all 4 cores, or all threads if it's gonna, or all cores if it's gonna work well. But I'll tell you that story in a minute. All right, let's get our clearance. We're going, what do we want? Northwest departure. Big Sky clearance, November 15 Juliet Golf, with Oscar, northwest departure.
November 15 Juliet Golf, Boise clearance. On departure 510 heading, maintain via flight below 6,000, departure frequency 119.6, squawk 3277.
Right, runway heading on departure out of below 6,000 VFR, departure frequency 119.6, squawk 3277, November 15 Juliet Golf.
For 15 Juliet Golf, read back correct. Horizon 1022, contact North California.
That was coming fast, I wasn't ready for that. Out of below 6,000, runway heading,
yeah, 291,
fine.
contact Denver Center 127.02.
Yeah, it's great, I really like it, it works fine. It seems to be intermittent in terms of when I'll have these network problems. I don't really quite know what's behind that, but it seems to be just the way it is sometimes. I'm not quite sure why. Okay, let's go over to ground.
Yeah, 291 Center.
You know, it says Boise Big Sky clearance on the charts for what it's worth. If I look at the plate, it says Boise clearance on the plate. Interesting. inconsistency. Nice of him to correct me without calling me out. Appreciate that.
NOR call approach, no need to report positionally altitude.
Ground 121.7.
Radar for your position.
And then we're going to go over to tower, which is going to be 118.1. We're going to tell him that we are at the southwest GA ramp. Boise ground, good morning, November 15 Juliet Golf, southwest ramp, ready for taxi.
Number 15 Juliet Golf, Boise ground, runway 28 left, taxi via Bravo.
28 left via Bravo, 15 Juliet Golf. I definitely need the practice. I haven't flown in weeks in the real world, and it's driving me nuts. The weather here is terrible. Okay, controls, flight controls, those goes up, those goes down. Let's put those go up and down. We'll taxi over here and do our little run up real quick. Take off the parking brake. Let's do a quick run up this way here real quick.
All right, pretty heavy. All 840 descend and maintain 50240.
2000. Okay, magnetos are working. Cycle the prop. Prop's working. Let's lean for a little more RPM here, given our altitude. That looks about right. Everything else is in the green. Fuel pressure, oil pressure, got gas, amperage are good, oil temp is good. Continue our taxi.
Horizon 515, contact Reno Tower.
We're going to get a nice tour of the Boise Airport here, including going by the Air National Guard ramp. It's harder to judge speed in this cockpit than it is in VR, I can tell you that, in terms of taxiing.
Reno Tower, good morning, Horizon 515, Nav Zulu 16 right.
Horizon 515, rear turn way, 16 right, clear to land.
16 right, clear to land, Horizon 515.
If you guys can see those F4s off of the side of the airplane there. No, I don't have room for a motions platform, and honestly, I just don't. I think I'm up to the engineering challenge of getting it in here. At some point down the road, if I give up the full cockpit and go only VR, there's pretty interesting motion solutions coming along for VR that are worth looking into probably in the future. Sorry, I can't read the chat and taxi at the same time. It takes quite a bit of left rudder to keep this thing going straight, or right rudder to keep this thing going straight on the ground. We're getting a lot of network port interference on the 6-pack for some reason. It's worse than it was before. Might get down there and try another port. Jimmy, if you know enough about network stuff that you could recommend a port number that you think would be in the clear and would work, I'd be interested to hear it. There's the wind. was a
L840, contact Seattle Center
290.9, huh?
126.6.
Alright, well, some of that could also be wind affecting my taxi. Yep. Taxi was harder because of the wind.
L840, Seattle Center, descend via the Hawk 6 arrival, landing south transition.
Okay.
Number 4, Delta Bravo, radar contact departure.
Contact departure. Number 48, Hotel Bravo.
Let's try one more port here. Oh, it just clicked on working great. Now it's off again. I'm going to try this one more time. Yeah, Jet, we're in the cockpit today. I did look at the jet seat. I haven't had a chance to really think about it yet. Okay, that seems to be working fine. I think it has to do where it's conflicting with PilotEdge. It is what it is. Okay, let's get our heading bug set.
Report Hotel Bravo, NorCal departure, cancel altitude restriction, resume on navigation.
.280 on departure. And just for the record, we're going to fly the .297 radial. Right? 297 radial, that's what I said. Yeah.
L840, go ahead.
Okay, final controls checks, that's going well. Let's go 10-degree flaps.
Auto 16 is landing south.
Okay. Tax landing lights are on, strobes are on. We're going to fly runway heading out or below 6,000. We're on the full tank, everything's in the green.
Reno ground, horizon 515, clear 16 right at Lima. We're going to be taxiing to the Charlie course.
Horizon
No,
515, frequency, good day.
I'm using an Apple airport.
Alpha to parking, this frequency, horizon 515.
All right, let's get ready to go.
1022, contact
Get ready for our next frequency, 119.6. Let's go over to, first of all, to tower, which is 118.1. To tell I've been out of the airplane for a week. We're going to go over to 119.6 next.
Rio Tower, good afternoon. Horizon 1022 on final, runway 16 right.
1022, Reno Tower, runway 16 right, clear to land.
Copy, clear to land, 16 right, Horizon 1022.
Boise Tower, November 15, Juliet Golf, holding short 28 left, ready for takeoff.
Number 15, Juliet Golf, Boise Tower, runway 28 left, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 28 left, 15 Juliet Golf. It's definitely PilotEdge that's making the conflict. I hope it comes back in time for my altimeter to work. Nobody's coming. Okay, we're on the center line. Full power. It would be good for my six-pack to start working. There we go. Rotate. Gear up. Boy, a lot of wind noise, isn't there? why this isn't working.
So 555 0 Cincinnati.
I can't even hear that. I seem to have lost my menus here in, all hell's breaking loose. There we go. That's way too loud. Way, way, way too loud. It's a little better. Well, we're over Boise.
1528 Golf. Radar contact departure.
Going to departure 15 Julie Golf. If I can hear him,
Rise 1022, clear.
which I can't.
1022 Alpha departure frequency getting.
Boise departure November 15 Juliet Golf is in op on altitude, 4,500.
So 15 Juliet Golf, future departure, cancel altitude for resume on navigation.
Cancel altitude restriction, resume on nav 15 Juliet Golf. I gotta find some way to turn that volume down. It is so loud I can't even hear. I don't know how it is for you guys, but for me it's unbearable. Let's try to figure out why. That's a little better. How's that for you? Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate it. We're going to keep troubleshooting here as we go over Boise. Yeah, and this Mooney, the volume is just so loud on the environmental sounds. The F mod is just crazy loud. It's almost impossible. It's almost like it's not operating the way it should. Let's try this.
For 48 Hotel Bravo, contact NorCal approach 120.905.
Yeah, it's so random. Well, without a working six-pack, that sort of sucks. So I'm going to ditch this thing completely and maybe go to Air Manager and see if it'll work for me.
For Hotel Bravo, NorCal approach, Richard.
Doesn't look like it wants to, does it? try this here real quick.
Delta 99, San Francisco, clearance, go to the Las Vegas McCarran International Airport. That's tick 3 departure, NCAL transition, then it's filed, climb via SID, squawk 7360.
Well, air manager's not working either for some reason. Nothing's working. Trying to fly without a six pack. Okay, the sound is better now. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. That is loud. Okay, well, that's not working, so let's ditch that. Let's go back and see if we can get this to work better than it was working before. Well, it's working for now.
Delta 99.
Well, that sort of breaks the whole sense of immersion to have to mess with that stuff, doesn't it? Yeah, must be PilotEdge. Well, it'd be interesting to see if I turned off, disconnected from PilotEdge, if it would be working correctly or not. It works for a bit, and then it doesn't work. Okay, well, let's keep our climb going here, up to 8,500 feet. Let's not over pass our needle here.
So, no need to make that transmission. We already know that. You don't need to make the call that you're switching to a frequency when it's a known entity.
So we'll talk a little bit here about what we're doing. So the big challenge was, I got all this set up today, and was having real trouble with the SPAD.next connection. It was doing just what this is doing. It was really intermittent and laggy, and I would cut throttle and it would jag. The movements of the needles weren't smooth, and I couldn't figure out what was going on, and I was just about at the end of my rope. And I had it assigned just to the first core, core 0. And when I changed that so that it was connected, to there we go. Let's see here. Playing with my mixer here.
LL 840, contact Seattle approach 125.
So I adjusted it, and I used Project Lasso to set it so that it was on all the cores, and I know that means it might conflict with X-Plane, but I'm getting good performance on X-Plane, and that's with 3J FPS, which I always run. And even with max quality, I'm getting 37 frames right now, which is good. 7,500 feet, keep going up. And, oh, we got traffic right there. Never saw him. Is he on this?
Oh, 840, Seattle approach, where do you expect that? Delta 99, San Francisco ground, safe position.
Huh. Usually the PilotEdge picks up traffic. I don't know why not. Curious. Maybe that's related to all of this also. Well, at the very least,
99, push on to Alpha approved.
I can use this thing to track altitude and ground speed. It seems to be working pretty well. So anyway, it was intermittent and not working, and it was causing problems. And So, and let's keep our head on a swivel since we didn't see that traffic coming. And I'm not going to keep advisories, we're just going to fly there, I think.
Delta 99, post on to Alpha approved.
Actually, we'll just tell clearance right now that we want to keep the squawk and keep advisories. Clearance, November 15 Julie Golf, or departure 15 Julie Golf would like to keep advisories to Lima Golf Delta at 8,500.
So 15 Julie Golf, Hunter, verify your type aircraft for me.
M20P.
15 Julie Golf, Hunter.
Okay. All right. 8,500 feet, or close to it, with my intermittent 6-pack. Now we can throttle back to 2,400 RPM. Kill the landing lights. Rich, so we're just a little bit rich of peak. Lean it first. Take just a little manifold pressure out, not much. My EGT gauge is over here. It doesn't have numbers on it, but I just keep an eye on it. Alright, it starts to drop there, so we'll go back. And just take it down to about there. There we go. All right, so we're trimmed out. We're having to crab pretty good here because of the crosswind we've got going. Although that tells me it's 8 across, so who knows? Oh, look at that, I've got that set to pan. That looks like it's about where we started. Today's flight is brought to you by today's apparel scripting, Charles M. Schultz Airport, Sonoma County. A buddy of mine who flies jets gave this to me. I think it's been on the stream before.
Delta 92, Monterey clearance, good to the Las Vegas McCann International Airport, Monterey 4, departure, Salinas City, Oregon is filed. Climb maintain 6,000, expect level 350.
Okay, let's look at the chat.
Departure frequency 121.3, squawk 6754.
Sounds great, good. I'm glad to say that's all done. AI drone traffic, yes, AI drone traffic. If you say that you have world traffic models, or any model really, I like world traffic because it doesn't load up anything if you aren't actually flying on PilotEdge and you don't want AI traffic, which is a frame killer. It usually puts them on here, but this hasn't for some reason. Yeah, I've got them. So, I don't know. I've stopped trying to understand. I can see traffic on ForeFlight. I'm not seeing it on here. What was the other day?
Delta 99, runway 1 left, taxi via
See how far away that traffic is. That traffic is 30 nautical miles, so it's out of range. Could be the reason. Okay. We're on our way to LaGrande. If you ask for, yeah, the drone traffic is from PilotEdge actually. So if you ask for advisories and you've got traffic, they will give you traffic advisories just like they would in the real world, which is great. Out here in the western U.S. expansion, they don't have as much drone traffic recorded. But if you look at the PilotEdge map online and you look at Los Angeles, there's drones flying. There's literally thousands of them flying around, which is pretty cool. Well, I have to say, this feels nice to not be in that headset, but does not feel as much like flying. Performance is good. Sense of the airplane moving around. We're running default weather, by the way. I also updated shaders, not shaders, but I updated my art, a lot of my art assets with a Lua script file that I wrote. I like how things are looking.
Yeah, the problem is you've been standing still for a minute. Once you have your taxi instructed, you have to get moving immediately. So, are you actually ready to begin moving?
I hope you're ready to begin moving. I'm going to turn PilotEdge up a little bit, though. That's a little quiet for me. I'll be happy when I finally have the volume just nailed the way I like it. Probably the challenge is, part of the challenge, though, is that this particular model from Alabeo has got this really weird, noisy, and I think maybe
LA 45 present heading is to maintain 3,000 vectors to final.
Maybe because it's it's designed for stereo headsets, and this is not a stereo headset. That could be it. All right, that is Ontario, Idaho. I think Idaho. Are we in Washington State yet?
No, the 557 Aspen finished here, Salt Lake City Airport, Lindsay, departure, Grand Junction Transit, and then it's filed.
We are in about 5 seconds.
6417.
That's right on the border. So we cross over the river here. That's the, is that the Snake? Yep. Snake River down there.
No, the 557, read that correct.
Nice view of Ontario. The ortho scenery is looking spectacular, as it is wont to do.
Delta 99, you're pretty be taxiing on
You can
Bravo.
see the Snake River winding
Alpha
through there.
One, right on Golf, left on Alpha, back on Alpha.
A little bit of a stutter there, but... Oh, so anyway, the story I was telling earlier about, yeah, so SPAD next, it was just not working. And gauges were dying halfway through, and I thought it was USB issues and everything, but as soon as I told Project Lasso to let SPAD next run on all 4 cores, instantly the problems went away. Instantly. So the only thing I can think is that it is written to run across cores, and even though it's not a high-intense program in terms of what it does, if it's limiting itself from a thread perspective, it doesn't seem to be happy. So everything got better as soon as I did that. I got a little bit of stuttering going on here. Looks like what do we get when it's loading a new scenery tile? In the SSD, it's over. I see the snake out the window there. So that was my lesson learned, and this seems to be working better now, but also I think it's a function of how much network.
455 Victor, descend of house, discuss and maintain flight level 240.
Well, see, there's PilotEdge transmission, there's no conflict. Who knows, maybe it's something that Windows is doing in the background that's causing the conflict. Who knows? God, it's a frickin' mystery. I have no idea what's going on. So that's what we have. So we're going to fly up the Snake River Gorge here for a while. We've got wind farms coming up that we should be able to see. See, the river comes up, makes a bend, back that way. And then there's the road. There's the little town of Weiser down there. Right there is Weiser. It's got a little airport, S87, Weiser Municipal.
Contact Fresno approach 119.6. Late 40 heavy, turn right heading 080.
Eastern Washington off to our side there. You know, I figure we only have a couple more legs on this route, and then we're going to be at the far edge of our anticipated leg. We're going to end up outside of Seattle, so we're going to fly this leg Next leg is going to be Yakima.
Corridor Hotel Bravo Fresno approach Fresno altimeter 29908.
And then we'll probably fly from Yakima all the way to
Delta 99 stop.
Secu 11S. And do the Seattle Bravo transition along the way as a challenge.
Delta 99 stop.
Sounds like Delta 99 is not
Okay, you're reading, but you're still moving. Stop.
not working the way we want it to.
Delta 91, you've been sort of having some struggles today. I sort of recommended that you take a look at the pilot program. I'm going to sort of reinforce that. We have a pilot training program, and I recommend you take a look at that. If you can get to it from the pilot center link on the website. But you seem to sort of be flying beyond your skill level today, is what is sort of in the impression of. You're sort of taxiing, you crossed 2 runways while you're doing that. I might be a scenery glitch there, admittedly.
Thank you. Glad to see that. I wish I knew what it meant.
Delta 99, yes, you've gotten to the right place now after ignoring my stop instructions and taxiing on 5 incorrect taxiways. You have ended up in the right place, but you didn't taxi appropriately to get there. But contact tower when you're ready for takeoff. Let's take a look at the training program.
It's a very nice way he handled that. Maybe North Korean SciTech. I don't think it's
So like you
SciTech.
said, to Charlie Oakland Center, good morning, descend VDS.
But they're a good target. We got a little cloud deck that's creeped up here. Just some little wispy guys. We're above them. Nothing in front of us.
About
This is
840,
fun.
5 miles from Kenmo, turn right.
Fun being able to
190, descend and
use this in
maintain-
particular, even though I'm not
maintain
really
3,000
using it
Phil
today.
Travis on the local ISO, cleared ILS 916 left approach.
And I missed the 3D though.
Delta 1092 plus on to Alpha.
All right, we're going to switch tanks. Fuel pump on the right. Positive fuel pressure. Fuel pump off. All right.
1559 standby.
We've got about 73 miles to go. 200 ground speed of 165 knots.
Delta 99.
We've got traffic up here 8,600 feet below us, about 12 nautical miles out. Yeah, it's not showing up. The GNS isn't pulling up the traffic for some reason. I don't see him.
Delta 1559,
He's on
clear to Salt
the-
Lake City Airport. Lindsay departure, Grand Junction transition minutes filed. Climb via SID Squawk 6357.
He's on the chart. I can see him on 4 flight. He's almost at beaming
1559,
now.
is that correct?
Quite a bit below. I always like to see him if I can. He's doing 453 knots. What the heck? I know you're not doing it on this flight as you piloted it, right? But have you used RealSim gear as a program complete flight and using this for an entire flight? Yeah, I've used this a lot for an entire flight. I haven't used it IFR, but the one thing is it runs off the GNS nav database, which is not as current. It's from whenever Garmin
Delta
released
99,
the training
contact northbound
database.
departure.
I want to see if I can see the wind farms this air down here. Nope. Don't see them.
Well, 840 heavy contact Seattle Tower 1100.9.
Yeah, it works great. I mean, like you can load
Delta
whatever.
99 contact NorCal
It is.
departure.
It does run the Garmin GN 530 training software, which is full service. So you can do anything in there that you want to do, Jet. You could program approaches. You can program SID stars. you know, holds the whole thing. It pretty much does the whole deal. Look for that traffic.
Allow 840 Seattle Tower, wind 260 at 6, runway 16 left, runway.
How he can't possibly be 8,500 feet below me. That puts him in the ground. So I wonder if that's tracking me for some reason. I don't know. Curious. I don't know what's going on. One thing about the sim is it's a constant adventure.
Number 168 Juliet Charlie, descend via the MZO 3 arrival, Oakland altimeter 29999.
Okay, once we get there to the VOR, to Baker City, we've got just a short leg, 27 nautical miles in 10 minutes into LaGrande. So we'll be prepping for descent then. Snake River headed off that way.
Number 84 Hotel Bravo, advising you have Fresno Airport in sight. Delta 99 San Francisco Tower.
One place where this has, well, I mean, I gotta tell you, it's a massive pain sometimes to run all this software.
Delta 99 San Francisco
Just
Tower.
throw in the headset and VR and you're off and running. Okay, let's get ready here. LaGrande is gonna be 135.075.
Delta 1092 Monterey ground, runway 28 left, taxi via Alpha. Delta 99 San Francisco Tower.
Alright. This thing doesn't switch over to COM 2. See if it will here.
Hotel Bravo, contact Fresno Tower 118.2.
Okay. LaGrande is at 2,700 feet. I believe 5,000 feet in
Verify
altitude.
5 Victor, contact Oakland Center 132.2.
Minutes. It's about 12 minutes out. So when we're just short of LaGrande VOR, we'll start our descent.
November 48 Hotel Bravo, Fresno Tower, enter right downwind runway 29 left, report midfield.
So we'll go.
Number 555 Victor, Oakland Center, descend at pilot's discretion, maintain 15,000. The South Lake Tahoe altimeter 3011.
Procedure, select approach.
3012.
RNAV 16
291, contact Los Angeles Center 133.55.
via, let's say, Tolga. So, for example, there, if you're still watching Jet, there's that approach.
Number 168 Juliet Charlie, contact NorCal approach 120.95.
Puts in the vertical navigation. So, if I zoom out here, it hasn't loaded it, but I can go to it soon enough.
Number 168 Juliet Charlie, NorCal approach.
Activating the
Roger,
approach.
the open altimeter 2999er. Expect
There's the approach.
Runway 28
So
right.
Victor, you know, there's a vector over to the first fix, and then it would be bringing you in, which is cool.
Did not catch whoever else called. You were unreadable.
Okay. Little town of Durkee coming up below us.
Monterey Tower, runway 28 left, cleared for takeoff.
We've got Bald Mountain off to our right. we are, we should be transitioning to a new sector here, but we haven't as yet. Perhaps they lost us. So I don't know if you can see that at all, but there's the approach. For BKE, that's not obviously the approach I meant to load, but you get the point. You know, right there, activate vectors to final. So pretty, even has the vector per final there, what the next fix is. You know, it's cool. So for IFR work, that's the key. It's definitely full featured. The only thing I would say is it does not have the most recent database in it. There's no way to update it. So if your fixes aren't there, you've got issues. This is looking really great up here right now. Feels like we're flying. To admit, I've missed the home cockpit a little bit. Now that it's all working, getting it to work was a pain in the butt today. And this thing still isn't working the way I would want it to be.
Air 55 Victor, clear direct South Lake Tahoe Airport and expect visual approach. Delta 1092, contact NorCal departure. Delta 1092 NorCal departure to contact, climb maintain flight level 1900, clear direct Salinas. Delta 1559 Aspen ground runway 33, taxi via Alpha.
A lot easier using this though than it is using
Wind 0405.
using the other. Well, he left me on departure.
Great Hotel Bravo, I need to report midfield now.
Never handed me off. I guess he lost me. So that is what it is. We should be at Salt Lake Center 128.05.
Delta 557 Aspen ground runway 33, taxi via Alpha.
Okay. We go up here. We've got Baker City coming up.
We're 55 Victor, descend and maintain 14,000.
We'll start our descent. Let's take back some manifold pressure.
Delta 1092, contact Oakland Center 127.45.
Salt Lake Center, November 15 Julie Golf would like to get the LaGrande weather.
Sure. Air 55 Victor, descend and maintain 13,000, advising of South Lake Tahoe Airport in sight.
I think we were stepped on.
Delta 1559, Aspen Tower, runway 33, cleared for takeoff.
Flight Center 15 Julie Golf would like to get LaGrande. Meet us.
15 Juliet Golf, you got out, say again.
We just want to switch over and get LaGrande weather.
For 15 Juliet Golf, previous request.
Barely hear it. 3013. I believe is what I said. Center 15 Juliet Golf is back on frequency.
Or 15 Juliet Golf, roger, expect visual approach to LaGrande. Disregard, sorry, just now noticed that your VFR, maintain VFR, advising LaGrande in sight.
Roger, Wilco 15 Juliet Golf. Okay. 3013, 340 at 14.
448 Hotel,
We are coming down.
Bravo 3 and Alpha to the ramp, remain this frequency.
340 at 14. We'll land on 34. And if we're going to go 34,
We're 168 Juliet Charlie, contact NorCal 135.65.
we'll be coming around to make left traffic into 14.
Delta 1559, contact Aspen departure.
Okay.
We're 55 Victor, descend and maintain 12,300. We're
Yeah, this
168 Juliet Charlie, NorCal approach.
is
roger.
awesome. I got to say, it really is. You just got to be ready for the fact that some of your nav data is going to be out of date. But, I mean, you know, it's not like every fix in the world changes. Oops.
1559 after departure, radar contact.
Woke up my sight. I've been using the trim.
600.
The trim, been managing trim on the yoke with the yoke toggle switch, and I just woke up the SciTech trim wheel. Okay, so we're looking for LaGrande. The highway comes out of LaGrande, out of this town, goes up that way, turns. I can see that turn, and LaGrande's up there. I don't have the field yet, but
Delta
I can tell you we're going to fly
310.
323 out of here. A 323 from heading.
Delta 557 Aspen Tower, runway 33, cleared for takeoff.
See if I can see the lake.
For AG Charlie, depart mission heading 290 vectors, visual approach, advising Navy airport site, 12 o'clock and 1
Highway comes over, goes up,
depart
ends
mission
right.
heading 290.
We'll be going that way in just a minute. We're going to flip our needle here in just a second to from, and then we'll make our turn.
Air 55 Victor, descend
We're
and
going to be
maintain
landing on
12,100.
340, aren't we?
Delta 1559, contact Denver Center 133.67.
Okay, there we go. Haven't quite flipped our needle. We're flying right over the top of the VOR.
Delta 1559, Denver Center, climb AT, level 360.
Guten Tag. Actually, Guten Nacht for you. All right, needle's flipped.
For 55 Victor,
Change
quick
to our
visual
new
approach, South Lake Tahoe Airport, no traffic
We've
observed,
got
to be in the field.
325.
Report cancellation of IFR in the air on the ground, this frequency, radar service terminated, change to advisory frequency approved.
323 actually.
Delta 557.
I would
contact
say
Aspen
whether or
departure.
not you want to build this or go VR, I think is a function of whether or not you want the engineering challenge of building your own cockpit, because it's a challenge. I mean, it's not a
Or 55 Victor, I drive fire
Over-
cancellation received.
not a
spark
challenge you can't
maintained via
overcome.
today.
but you know, it involves a fair amount of work.
Ray Julie Charlie descend maintain.
Certainly, building the cockpit is more expensive. There's no doubt about that. We can do our little OBS trick. Set that
Delta
to
557 has
340,
been departure radar contact line maintain level 210.
and then that will be our runway heading for the purposes of flying our downwind leg if we were so interested. Okay, I still don't quite have a field. I think it's right up there. Highway comes up and across, and it's got that jag in it. Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I can tell you that it's certainly easier for me to do procedures in this, although I'm getting pretty good in the VR. I can tell you the VR feels more like flying to me for sure. We got 24 miles and 11 minutes en route. All right, we'll hold it here.
7 contact number center 133.67.
Let's see. 2,700. 3,300.
Delta 1559
Let's
clear ground
keep coming
helper.
down a little bit. Eventually, we got to be down at 3,700 feet. We're going to maneuver around to the west of the airport and then make a 45-degree entry into 3-4, because that's where the wind's coming from. And it is the smaller strip. I've got to make sure
567
that's
number
not
center
a
climb
turf
maintain
strip.
level 360.
No, asphalt. 3,300 feet by 60. That's kind of like the one I
Alright,
landed
Julie
on.
Charlie clear bridge approach runway 28 right.
Yeah, so the engineering challenge is there. That's part of the hobby, absolutely. This certainly feels more like I mean, it's more comfortable in certain ways. I get hotter in this than I do in the headset. Boy, a beautiful view of the mountains over there on that side. Like stuff like that I would have noticed more quickly in the VR. It really is like you're sitting in the airplane. And as such, I feel like this sightseeing is better. It's easier to see what you're doing in the airplane. All right, that's the bend. And if there's those mountains there.
Ray Julie Charlie contact Oakland Tower 118.3.
We're 20 miles out now. Can't quite see it. Got the AWAS. Got that, thank you.
Delta 557 clear ground helper.
2.8, we'll be ready for that.
Uh, 168 Julie Charlie, Oakland Tower, wind 0405, runway 28 right, clear line.
There's 10 knot headwind working on us now. So I think it depends on what you want to do. Certainly if you want to, like, my little girl got in here with me this morning and we flew around and, you know, that was a blast. All right, so we've got the North Fork Wilderness area over here, and Mount Ireland over here on our right, or left. And way in the distance on our right, we have
American 304,
Eagle
Oakland Center,
Cap
Roger, cross
Wilderness
Big Sur,
area.
maintain 10,000, Monterey altimeter 3002.
those peaks are 9,600 feet. That's pretty awesome.
American 304, cross Big Sur at and maintain 10,000.
All right, I have visual on the town, if not the field. Center 15 Julie Golf has LaGrande.
Or 15 Julie Golf, Roger, radar service terminated, squawk 1200, frequency change approved, good day.
Squawk VFR, frequency change approved, 15 Julie Golf. Okay, 10 miles out, we're supposed to make our first call. I'm just holding it at about 5,000 feet here until we get a little closer. Also going along at 120 knots, which is slow for the Mooney. Usually we're going a good 50 knots ahead of this. Really the highway leads us all the way there. If I dip the nose, see the highway. Also, you know, this big screen is not nearly, it's in 1080p, but the resolution I think is worse than in the goggles. I can certainly have screen door effect, it's huge. It might have gotten bumped so it's a little out of focus, but it's not too out of focus. Compared to the LCD screens behind it, it's much more noticeable to me now than it used to be. Give us a little altitude for us to come over the top of this pass here. What I thought was LaGrande is not LaGrande. See, there's an example. Thought I could see what I could see, but I couldn't see what I thought I could see. See? But it looks like things are looking pretty good on the stream. I'm streaming in 1080p from the GoPro. Looks like the horizons match up well. See how far my delay is. Just about 3 or 4 seconds between what I'm saying and when you're seeing it. I'll pause this to save some bandwidth. Miles south, that's what we're going to be. Follow the highway in. That's cool. Looking for the airport. There's the turn in the pass. There's another little turn this way, and there it is. Okay. The ground traffic November 15 Juliet Golf is 5,510 miles south of the field, maneuvering to the west for 45-degree entry to 3-4 LaGrande. Okay. Not a lot of terrain there to maneuver on the right. It's just down past this field. Okay. Here's the valley. Town of Union is just over this hill on the other side of us, and then LaGrande is directly ahead, past this little hill. There's our highway. There's our airport right there. Start coming down. Okay. Let's get our mixture a little more power. There we go. The prop is full. Coming down at 20 to 3,700 feet. There's 3-4 right there. See the OBS line that tells me, oops. There we go. That gives me my runway heading and my reciprocal for the purposes of finding straight-in entries and things like that. It makes it much more convenient. When I fly into St. Pete and they tell me straight in on 07, I can enter into the OBS, and then that helps me find it from 15 miles away to fly straight in. But here I can see the airport. We don't want to get too close to this ridge. LaGrande traffic, November 15 Julie Golf, 3 miles southwest, 4,500. I'll be making a turn for 45 into left traffic for 3-4, LaGrande. Any less manifold pressure on that, it wants me to put the gear down. Okay. We have the airport off to our right here in just a second. It's a pretty valley. Okay, landing lights are on. Prop is full, mixture is set. Mixture is not rich because we are at altitude. For some reason it's put a Delta jet at LaGrande Airport. The scenery designer probably doesn't quite know how the different aircraft types work. And our altimeter is 3013, if I remember. That's going to change our altitude quite a bit. There we go. I say 3,700 feet. Okay. We're a little below pattern altitude now. I'm lazy. I haven't flown in a long time. Let's get that altitude back. Now it's funny, it's only been a week in the sim, but it feels like it's been a month. LaGrande traffic, November 15 Julie Golf is maneuvering onto the 45 for left traffic into 3-4 LaGrande. Okay, there's the airport. There's the 45 into 3-4. $3,700 feet. Can't see as well as I would be able to see if I was in the virtual reality headset, so it is. Wind is coming across at 17 knots. That's interesting. Well, if that's correct with the wind, then we should come in on 1-2. How can that be right? That's not what it told me. Well, we're going to land here and go with what the sim said. Okay, we're at our touchdown point. Throttle back, gear down. Make sure set prop is full. We're on the fullest tank. Slowing the airplane down and give me flaps 10. Flaps 10. Trimmed about 90. LaGrande traffic, November 15 Julie Golf, turning left base 30 LaGrande. 34 LaGrande. Can't see the airport as well as you'd be able to see in virtual reality headset right now. Yep. You have to turn now. LaGrande traffic, November 15 Julie Golf is turning final 34 LaGrande. I guess that wind really is coming that way because it pushed us quite a bit on that base turn. It's coming right down 30. So we're going to go around and land on 30 because that's the way it is in the sim. I can see it here. We'll do a low pass and come around and make our landing on 30 and take that crosswind component out of the equation. LaGrande traffic, November 15 Julie Golf, going low pass 34 LaGrande. See if we can find a windsock while we're at it. Yeah, we'll come around and land on 30. How much we're crabbing. Dolly, you should. It's a fun thing to do. Okay, looking for a windsock on our low pass. Not seeing one there. Keep the gear down. Not seeing one there. LaGrande traffic, November 15 Julie Golf is on departure leg for 34. We're going to enter for left downwind into 30 off the crosswind turn, LaGrande. Okay, near runway heading 30. Near heading bug set. Over there, we can do this easily enough. LaGrande traffic 15 Julie Golf, turning left crosswind 30 LaGrande. Keep the flaps up now. Back out of manifold pressure a little bit. Coming onto the crosswind for 30. There we are. Yep, we got that wind coming right across us. LaGrande traffic 15 Julie Golf, turning left downwind 30 LaGrande. Turn on to reciprocal heading, 3,700 feet. Now we've got that wind behind us. It's going to be moving us along pretty good. Okay. There's our runway. Nice and stable. Flying good, hands off. Okay, now let's do this again. This time without that big crosswind. LaGrande traffic, 15 Julie Golf is on the downwind for 30. Should have made that call earlier. Okay, at our takeoff landing point, gear already down. Inside the wet arc, give me flaps 10. Throttle back on the manifold pressure. Wind's moving us, so we got to be ready for that. Let's trim to about 80, 90, 85, 90 knots. 90 knots I like. Don't wait too long. LaGrande traffic 15 Julie Golf, turning left base 30 LaGrande. We've got no manifold pressure gauge in this cockpit layout, so I'm not quite sure really where I am on it. Okay, mixture set, prop is full, gear is down and locked, undercarriage is set mixture. I've said all that before. Gump. Gas on full, undercarriage down and locked, mixture set, in this case prop is full. LaGrande traffic 15 Julie Golf, turning final 30 LaGrande. Feel that crosswind working on us. Woo! Look how far it blew us out of the pattern. Oh man. I should be better than that. Time to practice ground reference maneuvers. Good news is we got plenty of time to make it up. Okay, give me final flaps. Oh, right where we should be on the glide slope. Pardon the pun. And what we've learned is in this airplane we have to keep some power in all the way down to the tarmac. A little crap going here, but not too much. Our ground effect. It'll land a little long, but that's okay. We've got plenty of runway to deal with. A little bit of a hopper. Not the best landing, not the best patterns, out of practice. The other thing though, I will say this, is without it being in 3D, it's harder to fly than in the virtual reality headset. I know that sounds ridiculous, but in the virtual reality headset, you've got a much better sense of distance, of the altitude. You can tell when you're in the flare space. I find that landing in that thing is easier. Flying in that thing is easier. Patterns too. You can look behind you, see where the airplane is, where the airport is. Much more limited in this. Okay, where are we? We are See, like I can't look behind me and see where we are. We are on, I don't know. LaGrande traffic, 15 Julie Golf, clear of 34 LaGrande. Flaps up. Landing light off. Strobes off. There we can see our windsock, which I was looking for. Well, where do I want to go? Do I want to go straight across here? Yeah, I guess I might as well. Gives me the options. Okay, so there we go. Oh, father and son. Yeah, Wayne, you've taught me. Father and son, it's going to be a good couple days for you. Take my advice. Read the post I have on settings. If you just do a Google search on the glide slope on the Rift, there's a search field. It will give you how I set my BIOS and all kinds of other stuff to get better performance. Otherwise, I'm afraid you boot it up and you're disappointed by what you see the first time out. We're crossing. What's coming? Yeah. And there's a video on settings too where that I took a lot of that stuff from, where a guy goes through everything what he did. Not often that you come into the town of LaGrande and have a 777 sitting there. Well, whatever. We're gonna park our little Mooney right down here. Or so I thought. We'll park it down here. Yeah, there's a nice big spot. Yeah, so, you know, with this projector and everything, and it's 1080p, it's just not as sharp. I just can't see things as well. So maybe that's when, you know, people complain about the Rift. I've been looking at this projector, which has got a huge screen door effect. And, or the Vive or whatever they're using, and for me, it looks and feels about the same. Parking brake. Okay. Nav off. Radio's off. Throttle back. Make sure to cut off. Switches. Keys. We can even take the key and put it on the dash. Something that you can't do in the Rift. Okay, so we are now in LaGrande, Washington. Next hop is going to be to Yakima. Yakima, that's a cool flight, cool airport. That's only going to be about an hour, maybe less, 130 knots. And then from there, transition to Seattle Bravo with the Mariner transition, probably. Mariner Seahawk 1 and 2, and then make our way out to the far northwest edge of the PilotEdge service territory, which is Secu 11S. And then from there, we're going to go all the way to the edge of the territory to the northwest or northeast, which means we're going to fly from Secu all the way across the top of the country to D50, Crosby Municipal. And then from Crosby Municipal, and that's going to be about 850 miles, and then from Crosby Municipal, we're going to fly all the way down to San Diego. South of San Diego, that's going to be 1,100 miles. So we've been having fun transiting the PilotEdge airspace, and we're going to continue to do so. Father, son, let me know how it goes. You're going to love it. Looks like it went around the whole time without crashing, which is good. I seem to have, at least on this flight, cured the problem of the crashing USB driver, and all this stuff seemed to work, minus the intermittent conflict that the Remote Flight Cockpit HD app seems to have with PilotEdge. And other than that, things were good. So this was satisfying. Beacon light off. Forgot to do that. Everything else is ready to go. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next flight, which may be tomorrow, and if not, is going to be probably a week. So I hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching.